Hey y'all, welcome to That's Just Me Though, the podcast where I just talk about things that I wish somebody talked to me about when I was a child. On today's episode 4 of That's Just Me Though, the podcast, I will be discussing soft lifestyle living. Before I get too deep though, get you some cozy clothes, get you a snack, get you something to drink, put on a face mask, do something, just tend to yourself as I talk about soft lifestyle living. Ooh, girl, excuse me, y'all. I was never a Tumblr girl, but my mama put me on because she was talking about she's seen them on TikTok. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm slightly easily influenced, but I was just I never liked these cups because I don't feel comfortable with. Sorry, I don't feel comfortable with the idea of my straw being exposed as I'm drinking it because like germs and stuff. But I love these. Like, oh my god, I should have got one sooner. But yeah, cheers. I got me some cucumber water. What y'all drinking? Let me know in the comments what y'all drinking. I got this from Marshall's for $20. So Marshall's sponsor me. I want to live a soft lifestyle because working hard is not my aesthetic. I'm not the first person to believe that. But working hard just isn't my aesthetic. I don't believe in working hard for other systems that are already exploitative within itself. I want to work hard for me. And obviously, in order to do that, I have to put in my effort and time into perfecting crafts and stuff. And while I'd rather not monetize my hobbies and the things that I enjoy due to just fear of falling out of love with things that I like, I would much rather do something that I enjoy for the rest of my life because then it's not work. You know, it's like a life hack. Find something that you want to do and do it forever and get money from it. You know? It's not even considered work at that point. But yeah, I just don't believe in working hard for other systems that don't work hard for me. Honestly, I feel like America is a scam. We all know that, but that's not even what today's episode is about. But nonetheless, I want to live a soft lifestyle and I'm going to live a soft lifestyle, which is why I bought some pajamas. I'm 20 years old and this is my first set, to my knowledge, of matching pajamas. Are my lips ashy? Girl, get that together. Like, what? Oh my God. Hold on, y'all. I need to. Did they look? Did they look ashy? If they do, oh well. Uh, no, like, girl, you need to get it together. I don't want to put no lip gloss on because it'd be looking like I be eating chicken sometimes. Anyway, if my lips start to feel too dry, I'll get it together. Water break. Hold on. My first episode, I discussed being a low maintenance black girl. And ever since then, I've just been working on myself, which has led me to wanting to live a soft girl lifestyle out of just everything I believe in. You know, I've always been this way my entire life. I've never really enjoyed working. It's not fun to me. And a lot of people will be like, oh, well, working's supposed to be fun. Why? Do you hear how you sound when you say that? Like, really just sit in that. Working isn't supposed to be fun. Like, something that I'm spending 40 plus hours a week doing is not supposed to be fun. Do you hear how you sound? Delusional. That's people are falling in love with the system. And that's like, I can empathize with that because Stockholm syndrome and stuff. But it's just like, I'm not trying to pass judgment, but it's really dumb. Like, I'm not supposed to enjoy my work because it's work. Work is supposed to be fun. That's what I believe. Work is supposed to be fun. You're not supposed to be miserable. But a lot of people are miserable, which is why a lot of people don't believe in soft lifestyle living. But to me, a soft lifestyle is a lifestyle that prioritizes ease and comfort above all else. It is a rejection to hustle culture. It is a rejection to, the normalcies of life, working 9 to 5, going to college and shit like that. Obviously, you can be doing these things and living a soft lifestyle living. And girl, slow down. Obviously, you can do these things and live a soft lifestyle, but the main, for me, intention of doing this is honestly just a rejection to the hustle culture within itself. Obviously, motherfuckers got to make their money, and motherfuckers got to do to get their money. I understand that because because I don't like working, but I got to work right now so I can get to where I want to be in the future. Not the biggest fan of it, but it is what it is. That's why I try to put my most best intentional foot forward with my hobbies and things that I enjoy. So I don't have to do what I don't want to do anymore, because who wants to do something that they don't want to do? Not me, I'll tell you that. Okay. But what a soft lifestyle is, it's just a rejection of hustle culture. It prioritizes ease and comfort above all else. It is a lack of problems. It's not invincibility to problems. It's just one's ability to deal with said problems, right? It isn't enablement of laziness. If anything, it's the exact opposite. It's prioritizing self-care. It's prioritizing mental ease. It's removing yourself from toxic environments, being intentional with the people and the content that you absorb and consume. It's things of that nature. What it is not, though, it is not the enablement of laziness. It is not materialism. It's not a lack of work ethic. And it's not just invincibility to problems. It's everything that I just said it was, right? A lot of people commonly confuse a soft lifestyle with luxury lifestyle living. And before I define what a luxury lifestyle is, um, luxury, the definition is subjective. It's relative to both time and person. Everybody has their own definition of luxury. Everybody defines it differently. How I define a luxury lifestyle or luxury within itself is a lifestyle that involves the enjoyment of expensive goods and services, often associated with wealth. Some may have their own definitions and some may agree with mine, but that's just how I personally define it. A lot of people kind of intertwine soft lifestyle living and luxury lifestyle living, but correlation does not imply causation. You can have one, you can have the other, you can have both, but the two don't exist off of one another. While they're both lifestyles that value comfort, a soft life prioritizes a peace of mind, whereas luxury lifestyle living highlights monetary pleasures rooted in materialism. There's nothing wrong with being a material girl. I'm a material girl myself, but I don't live a luxury lifestyle. That's not something that I can see myself doing, nor is it something that I want to do in the current space that I'm in now. In the future, hell yeah, of course, why not? Live a little. But as of now, soft life is the way for me to go. Some common misconceptions are that a soft lifestyle, excuse me, I'll keep burping. A soft lifestyle enables laziness, or people who live soft lives don't want to work and yada, yada, yada. And I feel like that's due to one of three reasonings. And it can be a multitude of reasonings, but this is just what I've concluded from my studies. Reasoning number one, people are in love with the system. Let me say that again. People are in love with the system and they don't fully understand the concept of what a soft lifestyle is, nor do they really want to, because anything that poses or anything that people don't understand poses as a threat to capitalism, right? Reason number two, reading is no longer fundamental. People don't read. People don't believe in reading. With the rise of short form content and social media, motherfuckers just not reading no more. Literacy rates are at a decline. Like, they are ever declining, and people just don't believe in reading. So people don't care to read up on things. They just want to vocalize their opinion without research, and not everything has to be deeply researched or super intensive, but it's just like, pick up a book, read a news article, do something. Like, people are just talking without knowing what they're talking about, which leads me to the third point. The last and final point is some people just genuinely don't know. And I feel like that's the worst of all. Don't come for me. It's okay to not know things, but it's not okay to be ignorant, right? People who aren't knowing these things, they're not going out of their way to figure out what it is they're talking about before they talk. They just talk, right? And I read an article as I was like researching all this, and I know that to be true because in the article, the lady said soft lifestyle is dangerous. How? How is it dangerous? Do y'all believe it's dangerous? Because I don't, And I feel like because she has fallen in love with the system, she feels like it's not fair, but capitalism within itself is not fair. Therefore, people shouldn't do it because it breeds laziness. And you see how that just sounds crazy, how it's like all over the place. Like, how do you get that from that? That's how that article sounded to me, But I try to give everybody grace and I try to extend grace wherever I can. But yeah, it's just insane to me. But I feel like those misconceptions are due to the fact that some people feel like it's unattainable or it's unrealistic because, oh, well, what about parents, or what about people with jobs, or what about people with kids? And it's like, a soft lifestyle isn't ignorance to these things, nor is it ignoring these people in the world. It promotes removing unnecessary difficulties to things that are already difficult. That's how I perceive it. So if you are a parent, if you are a single mother, if you are somebody that has a job, because I fall under these categories, not a single mother nor am I a parent, but I do have a job. You can do it if you want to. It's just some people just don't want to, And I feel like that stems from fear. A lot of people I feel like, operate more in fear than they do intention, right? And it's okay to be fearful of things, but don't let that stop you. And an observation that I noticed as I was researching this was a lot of people were saying how life is hard, which we understand, which is the point of soft lifestyle living, right? The point of it is to reject the idea of hustle culture and to reject these normalcies that we've been indoctrinated with since the conception of time and people in America, not even just America, but just people all over. The point of soft lifestyle living is to simply just exist intentionally in the present moment. We're always so hyper focused on the future and so ready to jump onto the next thing without really soaking in and being in the moment and appreciating what we do have. I fall victim to this myself, which is why a soft lifestyle is the perfect lifestyle for me to live. It is a lifestyle of intention. It is a lifestyle rejecting normalcy. And I just feel like I sound like a broken record because there's nothing bad from this. Some people argue that, oh, well, life is hard. We know that life shouldn't be hard by default. That's what I'm arguing here today. Life should not be hard by default. So I'm not going to go out of my way to make it harder than what it already is. Another observation that I noticed as I was researching this was it's a lot of my people saying that we shouldn't be living this life. I seen a Twitter post. The girl said let me find it so I can read it verbatim, matter of fact, because I don't want to misquote at all. This person said, wanting a soft life in your 20s through 30s is a setup for a hard life in your 40s through 60s. I say this with the utmost respect and sisterly love. Get your ass up and get to work. Honestly, when she said that, I felt offended, because I live a soft life and my intentions are to live nothing but softly. And the reason I felt offended was because I feel like she was saying the only way to attain success or to achieve success by her definition and her standards is to work yourself to death. I disagree. I know that whenever I feel triggered or whenever I feel a certain type of way, it's because something in my body or something in the universe is trying to tell me something or convey a message. So, which is kind of like, it wasn't the inspiration for this video because I already had the topic, but it was just like in divine timing that I seen this post as I was going to make this. So I did feel offended when I seen that because I was like, well, I want to live a soft life in my 20s and 30s because my life has been difficult from 0 to 20, So it's like, that's why I felt offended. And I honestly thought that I was the problem. I thought I was the drama as I was reading these comments because a lot of people were agreeing with her. But then as I continued to scroll and look at like the retweets, a lot of people were disagreeing with her as well. And then she followed up after the original post. She says, I didn't say go to work. I said get to work, as in put in the effort towards creating the life you want for yourself. As in this, sorry, I clicked something and lost my place. As in these are life's molding years. As in these aren't the years for cruise control unless you've already done the work. This doesn't mean live on the brink of burnout, but prioritize effort over ease. Right now may play out better for you in the years to come. I honestly feel like if she would have posted that, it would have been a completely different post. Whereas she said, oh, get your ass up and get to work. I'm going to read a few of the quoted tweets because I don't want to steal from anybody else. I'm going to read a few of them. The concept of work hard equals money equals easy is so boomer. In today's standard, people in their 20s and 30s work and study their off and still not being able to make a living. So what's the point? Somebody else said, maybe a hot take, but life shouldn't be hard by default just because you're not willing to overwork yourself day in, day out. Somebody else said, you can have a soft life and still go hard for your future. Somebody else said, what if you had a hard life since 0 to 20? Now what? Somebody else said, when you take a concept and don't understand it and then try to appropriate it, this is what happens. Soft life does not equal not working, wanting everything done for you, etc. People associated soft life with a certain aesthetic, and then this is where the disconnect happened. Somebody else said, maybe I misunderstood, but I don't think soft life equals unemployed. Somebody else said, what if I simply don't intend to live into my 40s through 60s, you hard? Somebody else said, I don't agree because nuance. If you've been spending your 20s and 30s working your ass off, you can live a soft life simultaneously. You don't have to wait until your 40s and 60s. Plus, everyone's definition of a soft life is different. It's not just resting and or being catered to. Somebody else said, working hard in your 20s does not necessarily mean you'll make it. Somebody else said, life hard regards, man. You just get better at rolling with the punches. AKA, life is already hard. You just get better at rolling with the punches. Somebody else said, Number one, a soft life isn't the absence of the work. It's the presence of ease, in my opinion. Number two, living to 40 through 60s is a promise. Yes, put in the work for it, but be equally intentional about the present. Three, who said you have to choose? Because me, I'm going to get to work and still make room for a soft life. I'm going to finish reading the rest of them. Somebody else said, I remember the last time I spoke to my cousin, asked her when she's coming to visit for a vacation. She said she can't because she's working a lot to save money. Then she'll come. She died from a car accident 3 months later. Live your soft life out loud. Somebody else said, soft life doesn't mean being lazy. It means working smart and efficiently so you're stress-free because you do everything on time. And last but not least, the last one that I have, every day not even promised. Let people live the way they want and you live the way you want. The end. That's the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for watching. I'm just kidding. But that's essentially what I'm trying to convey in this video. A lot of people, and my people specifically, and older people, have fallen in love with the system. I was reading a book called The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. In the book, he had a quote that I feel really summarized this topic for me. The quote says, "We can participate either on autopilot or with focused intention. So often, we sleepwalk through our lives. Consider how different your experience of the world might be if you engage in every activity with the intention that you might give landing a plane." Snap it up for good old Rick. We rock with Rick because Rick rock with us. That quote isn't to say hyper-focus or overanalyze each and every decision that you make. That quote is to say maintain a state of presence because that's literally all that you have. The past already happened. The future has yet to come, not even guaranteed. The present is like a gift because it's all that you got. Obviously, there's going to be the people who think that I'm lazy and that I don't want to work. And yeah, those are true. I'm probably going to be one of the first people to admit it, but I am lazy and I don't want to work. What you want me to do? Apologize? I'm not sorry. Like, I'm lazy and I don't want to work. Kiss my ass. There's levels to this work shit, right? There's hard work, effort, and discipline, right? And all three of them play into one another. But I feel like the way in which we define work is where my sentiment for living a soft life or wanting to live a soft life or putting my intentions towards living a soft life come from, right? I wrote down 3 or 4 definitions. The first one is to perform work or fulfill duties regularly for wages or salary. The second one, to perform or carry through a task requiring sustained effort or continuous repeated operations. And the last one, to exert oneself physically or mentally, especially in sustained effort for a purpose under compulsion or necessity. When I was reading these definitions of work, like, we already know what work is, but I've never Googled the definition of work. But what I heard from that is cut yourself in half so the system can be whole. Cut yourself in thirds so the system can be whole. Cut yourself in fourths so the system can be whole. Just pour everything out of your cup into the system's cup. And I highly disagree with that. That's why a lot of people are so miserable. You know, a lot of older people, they're like, oh, just work hard and go to college and, get a 401k and a good paying job and find you a beautiful wife and settle down. Okay, that may have worked in your time and more power to you if it did work. But in today's age and generation, you are currently in the process of liquidizing your entire retiring account because it costs $50 for a loaf of bread. A lot of people are tone deaf when it comes to money and it comes to finances and it comes to work because they think that it's the 60s and you can just work hard and work at a 9-to-5 and become very wealthy off of that, which is not the case. There are people doing it. Don't get me wrong. But is it a majority of the people? No. So is that good advice to everybody? No. An unpopular opinion that I have, though, I wrote this one down too because I wasn't going to remember this, but an unpopular opinion that I have, like I just said, there's obviously a difference between hard work, discipline, and effort. And I'm sure we can all agree that if you want something out of life, you have to apply yourself to align yourself. Remember that. Apply yourself to align yourself with what you want. As I've stated numerous times throughout this episode, a soft life isn't an absence of work, but it's a presence of ease. No matter what you do in life, you'll find that you're working for it one way or another. Should it be hard? No. Can it be though? Yes. The hard way shouldn't be the only route available to achieve what you desire out of this lifetime. Life shouldn't be hard. Life should be smooth sailing. And if you're like me and you want to live a soft lifestyle, but you don't know how, I'm going to give you a few tips and tricks in order to not necessarily speed up the process, but to aid within that process. Let me give it to you like an old school ad. Do you want to work yourself to death? Live in a constant state of burnout? Further exploit yourself to an already exploitative system? Well, if so, keep living how you're living. If you don't, follow me and I'll show you what to do. That wasn't that good, but you're picking up what I'm dropping down. If you do want to live a fulfilling life by your own standards, if you want to take charge of your own life, and if you refuse to settle, follow me and I'll give you the tips and tricks. Okay, that was really ugly. We feel like we have to submit to what we are told that life is, but you don't. You must rebel normalcy and traditions. I feel as though like I naturally reject the status quo, and I'm not like other girls, you know? But that was really ugly. It's not that I believe that I'm oh so different and I don't have to follow the rules, but I just feel like the rules that are in place are stupid. So I'm vibrating on my own frequency, you know? Obviously, I'm still doing certain things that I don't want to do, but in order to get where I have to go, this is just temporary. This is just a means to an end. That's all it is, a means to an end. So don't feel guilty if you're doing it too. First step into living a soft lifestyle is removing yourself from toxic people and environments. You really gotta sit down and ask yourself, why am I surrounding myself with these type of people? What do I gain from this environment? What do I gain from this individual person? Why am I here? Is this an emotionally benefic relationship amongst myself and the physicality of my reality? Is this person good for me? Do I really vibe with this person, or am I forced to believe that I want to be here? You know, because toxic people are energetically draining. You can't change toxicity, but you can control how you navigate it. Obviously, there are people in situations in which they can't remove themselves from the physicality of their reality. However, you have to get your insides and your mental like in alignment in order to be able to radiate on a different frequency. You know what I mean? Like if you're like me and was 16 living in that toxic household, obviously you can't get away from that because you're just 16 and you're broke probably. But what you can do is really try to get yourself centered, you know? Try to put in the effort and put in the work and put in the steps to reduce that survival mentality and get your nervous system regulated. And maybe here one day I'll talk about how to do that. Because like I said, I'm not qualified to talk about all this stuff. I just be talking about shit because I can. First Amendment, freedom of speech. Maybe here in the future, I'll do that soon. But as of now, I'm just going to leave that out there and you can kind of research yourself on how to do that. I've been really trying to focus on my mental health lately because it's been bad. It's been very shitty. I've been in a dark place. And I was doing my hair one day, then I just found this video. And in the video, the lady was basically talking about like the scientific reasonings as to what trauma is. And her definition of trauma was it's not the event that is trauma itself. It's the after effect that's trauma. She caught the event that happens that we call trauma. She caught that like, I don't remember exactly what she said verbatim, but essentially she just said it was abuse. You can find your own ways to regulate your nervous system. And I've tried everything. I've tried breath work, shadow work, journaling, talking about it, crying about it, physically expressing it, verbally yelling. And none of that has worked for me. So I'm going to try therapy here soon before my insurance expires this month, but I'm going to try therapy and let y'all know how that goes. But before I do that, I'm making it very intentional to live intentionally. That's like, I've noticed that that's helped so much. Like whenever I feel a feeling come up, I feel that feeling whenever I can, or I feel it instantly. I work in a facility where I can't just kind of stop and like, you know, whenever I feel some type of way, because it'll affect the people that I'm working with. And I'm not going to get too in depth of what I do for work, but that wouldn't be the most appropriate place for me to do that. However, I can still like revisit that. I'll feel whatever feeling it is like super intentionally and just figure out how to navigate that and really just sit in it, not sit in it for 2 seconds and then move past it because it keeps coming up and I don't know how to do it. And no, like really just sit in that feeling. Find a way to regulate your own nervous system, because what may work for me may not work for you. And what works for you may not work for me. And journaling and all that fun stuff doesn't really work for me. It is a tool that you can use, but it's not the only thing that you should be doing. You should have other practices that you are doing. My second kind of tip is to invest in yourself. That doesn't mean throw all your money into yourself. That can mean that. If you have the means to spend a little more on yourself, do that. But when I say invest in yourself, I mean pour into your own cup rather than pouring into everybody else, right? Investing in yourself could be things like buying a membership at a gym, buying clothes that resonate more with your style of who you are, and donating the old clothes or handing them down to siblings or family members that you no longer will. Investing in your physical appearance. It could be buying the more expensive toothpaste rather than the off-brand great value version of toothpaste. So sometimes it's okay to spend a little extra here and there. My third tip into adding more softness into your life is make good decisions. A lot of the issues that we have is because we bring them onto ourselves. Before you make a decision, you don't have to overanalyze. Really think about what you're doing and how it's going to affect you. We all have choices and there's all decisions that we should be making, and we may not always make them all the time, but we should be making good decisions most of the time. Obviously, there's going to be those times where we don't. I get that because I make bad decisions sometimes too. But you should really be like living intentionally and making intentional choices, because without those intentional choices, you're going to continue to cruise on autopilot. But the point of soft lifestyle living is to live intentionally. And my last and most final tip is it's 2 parts. Ask for help if you have it, and take breaks. I could have done these separately, but I put these into one because I feel like they both really correspond to one another. Make sure you rest. Make sure you utilize the communities around you. Make sure you are prioritizing comfort along with how much work you put into yourself. A lot of us, myself included, we're always focused on our jobs and things that are already naturally demanding, like our kids, our spouses, jobs, etc. And we lose sight of ourselves. So that's why I say, ask your communities for help. If you're always the one doing the helping, maybe ask somebody else to do it for a change. You got to really use your community and utilize your resources, because so often we just get stuck on honing in on others and we lose sight of self. That's not good, to lose sight of who you are. Take breaks and rest. Like I said, we just get so focused and caught up in the day-to-day of life. We forget to rest and we forget to prioritize self-care. And that's not good, because you're going to burn out and then you're going to explode and you're going to go into a dark, depressive state. Because I'm in the process of getting out of mine. Live soft. Live for you. I don't really have any advice to conclude the video, or to conclude the episode, because I gave all of my advice in 20-year-old wisdom throughout this entirety. But I wish you all nothing but a soft life, because life is not easy. But if you live a soft life, it can be for you. That's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for everybody for tuning in. If you have any episode recommendations or anything that you would like me to discuss, don't hesitate to leave them down in the comments or shoot me a DM, because I'm not above y'all, baby. I respond to DMs and comments, love. So don't get it twisted. Yeah. Communicate with me. Let me know what y'all think down below. Let me know if anything resonated. Let me know if you agree, disagree. If you're a Spotify listener, throughout the episode, I'll be having little questions that you can ask. Please answer those. I really love seeing y'all's responses to those. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on YouTube, obviously y'all have the whole comment section down below. So let's get into it. If you're watching anywhere else and you can't, there's no way to leave a comment, leave a rating. 5-star ratings really help my show, and it really helps me make more of these episodes. Nonetheless, that's it for today's episode. I'm your host, Kylee Simone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.